Good morning. This morning we're going to install Drupal 8 beta. And before we do that, I'll give you a little background. Drupal basically consists of three parts: code, database, and files. The files are where user uploaded files are stored, images, documents that a user might upload as part of adding content to the site. The MySQL database is where content and configuration is stored, and the code is the PHP, CSS, HTML, all the stuff needed to run Drupal itself. So I've already downloaded from Drupal.org Drupal 8 Beta 6. I've loaded it onto a VPS on the internet, so the code files are up there. I created an empty MySQL database and database user ID and password that can access that database. And so we should be ready to fire up and install. So I'm going to open up a new browser tab here. I'm going to put in the URL to my VPS. I set it up as a subdomain on customersuccessmarketing.com where Drupal files have been loaded. And now you can see the Drupal has figured out that it isn't installed yet, and it has fired up the install process. So I'll just click Save and continue to get going on that. And I'll select just the standard install profile. If I wanted to use a Drupal distro, I would have downloaded a different set of files. There might be other options here, but we're just going to go with a standard install for today. And now I need to connect Drupal with the database. So I'm going to go grab the database name that I have set up and the user ID and password that can access that database through my VPS. And if all goes well, Drupal will find the database and connect to it. And it looks like it did because it didn't complain. And now it's going through a standard Drupal install, installing some of Drupal's core modules here. This will take a minute or two to complete. And when it's done, we'll fill in a subsequent screen to set up the first user on the site and some other information about the site that Drupal wants. And that first user that will get created is a very special user. It's called user1. You want to protect that user ID and password very closely because it can always do anything to that particular Drupal site. It doesn't need any special user roles or permissions. It has all of them by default. And after that's complete, we'll fire up our site and take a look around the admin menus of a standard Drupal site. We're almost there. Our little barber pole is rolling along. And you'll see there the views module that's new in Drupal 8. The views module has been around for a long time, but in Drupal 8, it's part of core. As anybody that's been around Drupal world knows, pretty much you wouldn't ever build a Drupal site without views. So as part of 8, they recognized that and installed it as a core piece of Drupal out of the box. So now we're on the last step, the configuration screen. So we want to give our site a name. This is a little research paper website, so I'm going to give it that name. I need an admin email address for the user one that we're going to create. I'm going to call this Doug H as my username and put in a password that is only fair in security, but this is a throwaway site, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I can take the defaults on all the rest of these. Click Save and Continue. And now we have our Drupal site up and running. You can see up in the top of the screen, this is Drupal 8's new admin menu out of the box. We have a front page. I can look at, do I have any content on the site? Don't currently. You can see in Drupal 8 that we can also manage files right out of the box and comments. And if I go to the structure menu, I can see the different kinds of things I can do here. Out of the box, Drupal gives us an article and basic page content type. We'll look at how we'll add our own content type in a subsequent video. Appearance is where we deal with themes. So out of the box, we're using the Bartik theme to see it. Extend is where you would add new modules, custom and contrib. And configuration is where there's a lot of information about the site. I can go here to site information, set the home page. I can deal with performance, image styles, a whole variety of things. On the People tab, I can see that that's the user account we created. I can create new accounts. I can set up permissions and roles. And over here on the Reports tab, I can find out about the site. So I can see, for instance, a status report for Drupal, and I can see I'm running Drupal 8, and it looks like I don't have any real issues to worry about. So that's pretty much it. We've installed Drupal 8, and we'll move on to the next one.